The bond, do you support or oppose, and why?
Okay, thank you. All right, so I have looked at it a few times, and there are several things that I do support. I don't really want to go into all of that right this second. I do support some of the things on there. My main thing is that if whatever is good for the students and good for the teachers, I'm an advocate of students and teachers, and whatever is on the bond for the betterment of them, that's what I'm for. So I need to go back and look extensively at that to make sure that what I vote for is going to be for the betterment of the teachers and the students in the classroom and in the school building. Thank you.
All right, the bond proposal for this year. Well, certainly A and B are the most important ones. It's a new school. It's a new school in Sunfield Village, which desperately needs a new school. And so, big proponents of those. And of course, this is what we do with bond proposals in all school districts. We chop them up, so it's not an all or none, and so people can use it as sort of a smorgasbord menu. Now, sports, and increase the sports in the stadiums, that's CD or it's C and D, I guess. There are people out there that do not care about sports. And I would say this, and I would have to duck after I say this from the coaches, that sports is the second most important thing in schools. They would get mad at me and say, it's the most important thing in school. No, it's not. That we have education. But there are hundreds and hundreds of kids. The only reason they come to school is because of sports, and they get to be in sports. So I'm going to vote for all of them, personally. But there's one for the Edmond building, and I've talked to some folks in the community as I go around, and their mentality is this: as long as there's one child in a portable, why do the superintendents and why do the upper level administrators need a nice building? And I said, well, it's you could make the case that we shouldn't have built the PAC, they call it the PAC, yeah. Because it's great, it's state of the art, it costs money, and I'm glad we bought it, and it makes Hayes look very, very good. So, and then I guess the F one is the technology portion of it, and we still need the technology. So definitely A and B, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, sports is still number 2, and I'll still duck from my coach friends for that. But I'll vote for all of them, and I guess 3 years from now, like 2 years ago, or was it 3 years ago, we had a bond, we'll have another bond package as this district grows, and we're talking about 1,000 students a year. At least the next 6 years, and again, my focus is on the year 2030, because we got to get ready for then, and hopefully all of my grandchildren will have nearly graduated by that time. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I mean, I voted to bring the bond forward, so I support the bond in its entirety. It was crafted with lots of voices, and that's one of the things that I really want to point out about it. You know, there's a couple of things on here that were new from the prior, we pulled the bond, we had the bond out, we pulled the bond back, the bond's coming back out, but in that time a couple of things were added, like shade structures on campus that should add to the outdoor learning quality for students, which is fantastic. But you know, the stadiums are an interesting one to talk about. We're actually required by law to separate out stadiums that are above a certain seat size, so you know that's there by itself, and so that makes it a community up-down vote, and I'm proud to support that, and I think that's fantastic. But what's interesting about that is that's one where our Facility and Bond Oversight Committee was actually not recommending that to be on the bond that was put before the voters. But we had a tremendous amount of community feedback that says, yes, we understand the cost, but here's why we support that. And the board listened to that and said, okay, we understand it's going to be a separate item. Let's get it out in front of voters. There's no doubt this is a big bond. It's lots of dollars. But I think something that we lose sight of sometimes is that right now we're at about 21,000 students. Our demographer estimates that when this district is built out, we'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 60,000 students. So we need to understand that bonds are going to be a regular part of our life. But I think we can manage those. We pay those bonds back early, we pay them as fast as we can. We structure the bonds so that if there's savings in any one of the lines, those dollars are actually returned to the taxpayer to pay down that debt rather than maybe finding district pet projects or whatever throughout the district to do, as have been habits of administrations past. I will say with Dr. Wright and his team, that has not been an issue. And I specifically want to talk about the administration building just for a moment. There's a reason for that on there that I don't want us to lose sight of. We have an amazing program in this district called Live Oak Academy. They serve a student population that I think were they not there would be lost. And that would be a tremendous, just be a terrible story for a district to tell. And so we have a wait list, but part of our administration, the curriculum and instruction department, is housed on the campus with Live Oak Academy. There's literally no more room for them. And so in order for us to expand that program and help more students stay connected and get educated, we really need the administration building. And I don't know if you've been to our admin offices. They're very old. That's not a selling point in and of itself. No one there's complaining about that. It serves a bigger purpose than just a nice office for the administration. It helps us serve a very unique student population at Live Oak Academy. Thank you.
Thank you. I am actually on the Facilities and Bond Oversight Committee. I will tell you that we have done a lot of work into that bond. Mr. McManus is right. The demographer has estimated 60,000 students in our district. We are behind when it comes to facilities and expansions in our district. We need to expand, we need new schools, we need new land for schools, we need all of those things. So yes, bonds are going to be a way of life for us, but we are a very growing district at a very fast pace. What I appreciate about Dr. Wright and our district is that we do pay back bonds. We just gave $5 million back in one of our last bonds. We just approved that with FBOC. So to speak to the admin, to say I do support everything on the bond, let me start off with that. I think everything is needed. To speak to Mr. McManus's comment about Live Oak, there is a waiting list for Live Oak. I've had parents come and talk to me, students that have graduated, that said that they would have never graduated had they been at Live Oak. And we need to make room for those students to come in and to go to that school. And we can't do that with having curriculum instruction there. I've seen the design for the admin building. I am very impressed with it. It's going to house everyone. I think that it's important that when you work with people that you are right down the hall from them instead of having to travel all over the district to get to them. I mean, special education isn't even anywhere near our administration building. So I support everything on that bond. To speak to the stadiums, I'm a parent of an athlete, and I have listened to our administration tell us that when we have a fourth high school, we will end up having to have a more centralized stadium that will cost us millions and millions of dollars than it would be to expand these schools. So I am 1000% in favor of this bond. I don't like the price tag on it, but that's where we are, and that's the district that we're in, and we have to move forward and not stay behind. So, thank you.